Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, brothers and sisters. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This, brothers and sisters, particular lesson or speech or presentation is not going to be long. All right? But it is for necessary purposes. So that way we can gain an understanding and so forth. I want to, as stated, start off by giving honor and praise unto the one who judges all and is not judged, the one who sees all and is unseen, the Most High, blessed be He. Now, brothers and sisters, this is not for glory purposes of self. This is not for self-praise. You understand? This is not for self-grandizement, because you can't come on and say, giving honor and praise to the Creator, if you are about yourself. And when you are about yourself, you seem, I'm speaking in general and personal, you seem maybe to forget about the Most High. And so, brothers and sisters, that's something that we don't want to do in the house of Israel. See, one of the things in Ezekiel 22 that the Most High spoke of concerning Israel is that they have forgotten me. The book of Isaiah, chapter 1, it says, my people do not consider. So, what we're going to have to do, brothers and sisters, in doing better, is to consider. All right? So, in light of that, my brothers and sisters, I want to address the subject matter as the title suggests. When your eyes are open, don't close them. Right? When your eyes are open, don't close them. What happens is, when you close your eyes, brothers and sisters, things pass you by. And everything that passes you by, when your eyes are closed, is some things that may not be able to be given back to you, such as time. Let me get a little personal with this. I have a little girl. She's 12, right? Shalom, Dark Fire. Shalom, Terrence. Thank you for joining on. And what has happened, brothers and sisters, between her mom and I, due to the fact, and I want to be candid upon this, due to the fact of a lack of appreciation that the sister showed me, is why her and I are not together. Due to the fact, brothers and sisters, of not showing reciprocation for the assistance or the help that was done, and having the spirit or the mentality like I am deserving of it, the arrogant nonsense, if you will, is the reason why me and my daughter's mother are not together. The spirit of having a thought she owes me consistently, and I already had a mama, I don't need no woman to tell me anything, is why my daughter's mom and I are not together. Her eyes were not shut on certain things, and certain things was mentioned and brought out. Was it to be a thing, brothers and sisters, in which I would sit there and hope she don't see, and then still sit there and tell her, I love her, I respect her? Hey, that's not love and respect. When you hope somebody doesn't know something, that's not love and respect. When you hope somebody remains ignorant of a particular thing, that is called wicked control. Some people, brothers and sisters, define that kind of thing as a controlled environment. So, brothers and sisters, when a man or a woman or even a child feels that he or she is inside of what is understood as a controlled environment, some parents have the idea of saying, well, if you can't abide by my rules, get out my house. And some children do that. Not saying that's always the wise thing. You understand? When you look, brothers and sisters, for instance, let's take some rap music, for instance. I wasn't even, per se, myself, the biggest fan of the rapper Special Ed back in the 1980s, but something told me, watch the thing online about Special Ed, who was a rapper back in the day, Special Ed Unsung. And I sat there and I watched it. And the record label had it to where he doesn't get what it was deserving of him. So he cut ties with them and then took them to court and so forth and so on. When you look, brothers and sisters, and I wasn't a fan of the group neither per se that much, the rap group NWA from back in the 90s and what have you, or the 80s into the 90s, Ice Cube left NWA. And then when Ice Cube left NWA, they spoke bad about him. But that's what happens when you leave from people or anything with the controlled environment mentality. The only thing he or she or they are left to do is to try to talk bad of somebody. You understand? So this is something we want to point out for edification purposes. One of the lines in a rap song that NWA made about Ice Cube when he left NWA was, the only reason why they bought that album is because they thought you was us. In other words, what MC Ren was saying in that particular line is that the reason why Ice Cube got any kind of love after he left NWA initially is because, according to MC Ren, people were still thinking that Ice Cube was still with NWA. So what is MC Ren saying undercurrent? Ice Cube, we hope after you leave us, you fail. We hope that you do not thrive. You understand? The response that Ice Cube made is in a song, which is not a song for the Sabbath whatsoever. All right? But it's called No Vaseline. And in that, he spoke about, maybe metaphorically, of the group of NWA dealing with each other's phalluses. In other words, he is the word riding another man, metaphorically. You understand? So, the point, brothers and sisters, in that is there are the spirit of those who would hope that you would stay riding upon till the wheels fall off. Now, once again, let me get a little personal with that. I remember having a job where you go ahead and you get this certification and we'll promote you. All righty, I'll go to the school and I'll study for the certification. And I studied for the certification and I took the test and I passed it. All righty, there's another certification you got to get. Okay, I'll go back to the school and I'll get this second certification then. I went and I did that. When that final needed certification was acquired, all of the promotions were not mentioned. All of the raises was not mentioned. They quote unquote, in layman terms, used, which I would say misused the person. A brother, a person was lied to and led astray, thinking, hey, if you would do this, I will do that. And so, believing what was told and go in beast mode, if you will, go in hard body, if you will, making sure that you do above and beyond to make sure that the thing was done. But then when the person sees the reciprocation is not there, bye bye. Zehu, that's it. You understand? So a brother took the certifications and went to another job, being able to use those same certifications elsewhere. So when a brother left that job, I was getting all kinds of text messages. Why would you do that? What do you mean, why will I do that? You know good and well I was promised something that didn't come through. You know good and well that a brother busted behind to sit there and make sure certain things was done. But when you dealing with somebody, whatever the subject matter is, and you see that person is serious about it, and you're not serious about it, word to the wise would say, do not waste that person's time. Because when a person is serious on a particular subject, you understand, and you're not serious, fall back. Let me give you an example. There was a brother talking about spiritual stuff, if you will. One time I went to go and visit a friend of mine, and this particular person was fasting. When I went to the person's house, I had like things to drink and food to eat and so forth. Once I saw the person was fasting, I took my drink, my liquids, and the food I had, and I left because we're not at the same place right now. You are fasting. I'm not intending on fasting. So I'm going to take the food and the liquids I have, and I'm going to be out and leave you at peace. I'm not going to sit there and bring in the spirit of drinking, the spirit of smell, grease, and food inside of your presence when you are in a mode of fasting. That is disrespect, brothers and sisters. It boils down to an aspect of appreciation. People, brothers and sisters, have ended relationships over a lack of appreciation. People, brothers and sisters, have ended in businesses over a lack of appreciation. I know, and I'm not going to say no names, but this is at a job as well. The manager was a person, and the person that worked for the manager was a person, is all I'm going to say then. The worker for the manager went above and beyond to the point when one time the worker spoke Spanish. The manager didn't speak Spanish, and somebody else had offended the manager. So what does the Spanish speaking person do? Go in a presence, and I have to hate to have to say this black Dominican man spoke to the Puerto Rican brother in Spanish and made sure that none of the Morenos, none of the common black folk knew what in the world they was talking about. Because there was a personal matter. He was doing a mission for his manager. When he eventually asked the manager for a raise, for some kind of restitution for the above and beyond work which was done, the manager said, I can't do that. The person had a retirement party from that job less than a month. I hope you find another translator, because see, you can't misuse people and then expect people to sit there and be like, I'm gonna just keep on riding. That is how slavery works. Did you know in slavery, there was a thing, brothers and sisters, right? There was a thing, brothers and sisters, I actually forget the name of it, but I'm gonna put it inside of the thing when I get to it. For what I'm talking about, there's a video called From Ghana to Georgia. Anyway, there's a doctor, brothers and sisters, in the 1850s that coined a term that said any slave that run into runaway had a mental sickness. There was a doctor in the 1850s that coined a term that said the slaves that run into runaway had a mental sickness diagnosed and all of that. Because according to the slave master, he or she cannot understand why would you not want to just keep serving me? Why is it that you think you are deserving of something for the stuff that you do? That is, brothers and sisters, the form of slavery. So when you hear brothers and sisters say that there are black people who deal with black people the same way white people do, those are the two reasons among some others. One, you expect and expect and expect and never reciprocate and do not reciprocate. And you hope somebody does well, but doesn't do better than you. That's the white man to the black man. Do good, nigga, but not better than me. There are black people who have those two kinds of disorders, if you will. That is to say, one more time, do well, but don't do better than me. That's one. The other one is when we speak about our crops, it's the Willie Lynch talk in some people's mouths. Our crops don't mean our crops. Read the Willie Lynch letter, you know exactly where a brother is coming from. Our crops means my crops that you sat there and did for me, but what is given the illusion of inclusion. That's what the white man does. You understand? So, brothers and sisters, when we speak as black men on this particular subject, let's understand why such is done. Okay? Let's understand why such is done. And when your eyes is open, don't close them. It's the creator that opened them. So don't shut them. Next slide. Citations in a meme. Trying to stop one's growth in righteousness, quote, is not righteous. That came from a beautiful friend of mine. Another quote comes out of the book of Proverbs in the Bible. He becometh poor that dealeth with the slack hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Now, we all know riches is not only monetary money and so forth. Do you know why? Getting personal, if I will. I'm not cut up, as the saying goes, with muscles all over the place. Is because one wasn't diligent once it came down to working out. That's why. Do you know why? There are those saying within a particular company. Take NWA, for instance, with Ice Cube. In that song he did called No Vaseline, he said, you got upset when I started my own company. But I'm a man and ain't nobody helping me. So when we deal, for instance, with a subject such as that, it says the hand of the diligent makes rich. So that's why there's nothing wrong when a person wants to, quote, expand. The person who tries to have the thumb on another, oh, you trying to expand? You are, what the terminologies? Ego and arrogant. What about the terminology called oppressive and subjugated? See, you would find in certain cases when some say, oh, somebody is arrogant or this or that, it's usually from the spirit or the mentality in certain cases. I don't want to say usually, I want to say in certain cases. From they who hope you won't become this or that. Give an example. I remember I showed in the building at a job the newspaper where one of the employees had left the company and now runs his own realty company. I just thought it was okay. Look, this person, hey, he used to work here, right? Oh yeah, this is another job or whatever like that. Oh yeah, they used to work here. And the person that I happened to speak to that saw that other guy's picture inside the paper just stared and stared and stared and stared at it. And the person said to me about the guy inside the newspaper, I really wasn't friends with that guy like that. And I was like, wow, you wasn't friends with a person that you just stared and just looked and tried to read the words around that person? That person is what you call in layman terms a hater. Now, let's talk about music and entertainment, if you will. Brothers and sisters. Why? Did the group Salt-N-Pepa with their DJ Spinderella broke up? Lack of appreciation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pardon. Salt-N-Pepa, they had the mentality. This is our group. Spinderella, you just the DJ kind of thing. Spinderella left. You can't have people willing to help you and then you disrespect him or her and expect everything to just stay okay. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Most High deceitfully. That comes out of the book of Jeremiah. Now, how does that apply? Brothers and sisters, when you already know, like it says of David and Jonathan, his soul was knit as to himself and he loved him as his own soul. When you have a friendship like that, and it disintegrates, not because of a jealous father like Saul, because one soul was knit to the other as such. That's what happened, being a little personal, with me and my daughter's mother. You understand? You can have people whose souls aren't what you will understand as knit to each other. And due to lack of appreciation or lack of respect, it can turn something sour. Proverb says, in speaking of life, not doctrine, a brother, a person offended is harder to win than a walled city. You can't offend and expect the same respect as you got before. All you got to do is look at landlords and tenants. Landlord becomes slumlord, tenant may go on rent strike. Tenant may go on rent strike. Landlord may start moving funny style, as the saying goes. You can't, brothers and sisters, do things and change up in the middle and expect the person to just sit there and keep on riding like that because one doesn't know where the other is going. You understand? The mindset, perhaps, that says, never let your right hand know what your left hand is doing, is why we as a people don't have much of anything. Because, see, hand in unity causes things to be built. But with the mentality that says, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, is the reason why we keep spinning like the Willie Lynch letter in the spinning vortex. Round and round, like a dog chasing its tail. The proverbial carrot that the animal doesn't get. Just keep on going round and round and round and round. You understand? Be strong and of a good courage. That comes out the book of Joshua. You understand? When a toxic person can no longer control you, and we all have experienced that, they will try to control how others see you. Once again, let's get a little personal. I remember asking, as an Israelite, as a brother, as a son, indirectly to this person. I remember asking this person if I can use their relative's picture in one of my PowerPoints so I can give my teacher honor. I wanted to give one of my teachers honor by saying, this is my teacher. Before I did that, I asked the person's child, who was older than me, if I can use such a picture. The response back was, you can use it as long as you go and make up with such and such. And I was like, what? I'm asking you if I can sit there and pay homage and respect to your relative, and your response is not yes, it's not no. It's, I would have to sit there and make up with somebody else, which was the price that you was asking for me to do. You got your rules and your regulations. I respect that. But let me tell you something that you didn't know. Who you want me to go and make up with said we can love from a distance. So how am I supposed to go back when I'm being told to keep a distance? The situation was then brought to the person whom I asked. And the only response was like, oh, wow, well, I understand you try to mend a relationship, but because, not to be too personal, but personal, when a brother was not under the control no more, another had to try to sit there and make and control how others viewed this person. Who wanted to honor your relative? Was it the person who spoke bad of one's relative, or was it the person who wanted to respect your relative? You have to ask yourself that. Who is the one that wants to show his teacher homage and respect? And who is the person that say, I can't get along with them? Use your wisdom. You're not a fool. If I am coming and asking out of respect to sit there and pay my teacher, your relative, homage and respect, because every teacher that I had, whom I showed the pictures in any teaching, I got written permission from their relatives if they're not among us. Because I don't want them to turn around and sit there and say, yo, you talked about my mother or my father, even if it was good. I asked such and such before I printed their name in a book. It's okay. I got permission first. And if you ever care for me to take it out, respect trumps knowledge, so be it. So getting back to the point and looking at this meme right here. When a toxic person can no longer control you, they will try to control how others see you. That is real. I know because I have myself experienced it. You're going to try to paint a brother out as bad, as crooked, as a deserter, without understanding why a person is feeling a certain way. And I would say this: it was never intended for me to find out what was said about me. But you know, in the book of Psalms, right? It says, shut up the mouths of my adversaries and accusers. So when I brought it to the person who told me we can love from a distance, you told this person that I didn't want to talk to you. All I got to do is screenshot all the text messages. Good morning, how you doing? Good morning, how you doing? How's everything? How's the relatives? Everything is okay? No response. So I digged into an old phone. It showed that person what they forgot they said and meant. Showing love from a distance. You forgot you said that, or you hoped, because I'm about to hit you, quote, with a punchline. Did you know that I asked this person to pay homage to their relative as a teacher to me? And guess what I was told, if you want to guess? I was told that I am supposed to make up with you first. Now, what did you tell that person about me? As it says in Psalms, shut up the mouths of our adversaries and accusers. Nothing was stated. Straight, full blank. Oh, shit. Pardon. One did not expect that to come out. But there is one, as we keep speaking of, that sees all and is not seen, that judges all and is not judged. So the Most High is going to let one know this is what was said and done. That's why, though nobody is perfect, it is good to keep your nose clean. The misinformation will feel unfair, but stay above it, trusting that other people will eventually see the truth just like you did. You understand? How is it that you didn't get along with a person and you're a manager and a person winded up leaving the company and getting his own company? With that, knowing this meme, I got to look at that person sideways. Because, see, the person who has acquired his own company never spoke bad about you. You're saying you couldn't get along with that person. I never heard anything from that person about you. So I got to now look at you sideways. I remember I was at a job one time, and the person that was being spoken bad about, this is another situation, was on suspension. A suspension, no offense, not to slander. He brought that suspension on himself. You take off and you take off, you take off, and then you bring no kind of note, no kind of nothing. So the manager said, you stay out until you bring me your note on why you was out so much time. So that suspension was brought on that person by that old person's deeds. But that's between him and the manager, not me. I don't sign that person's check. That person doesn't work for me. You understand? So, with that being the case, I heard so much about this person before I met the person, before the person came back with their notice and so forth. And so now, if I was a dodo, I would sit there and look at that person through the eyes of somebody else. And that's what some do. So you start looking at that person sideways like, oh, they told me about him or her. When in actuality, same job now. This one I'm saying happens to be inside of a warehouse, right? So inside of a warehouse, you got boxes here and there, and there's different aisles with different boxes and so forth. I was in one aisle, and a person who spoke bad about the guy who was suspended was talking about me, but did not know that I was in the other aisle. If some people would sit there and get certain things done on time, and we wouldn't have to be doing this double work. So I was like, oh, you're trying to talk about me on the slide, but you didn't know I was in the next aisle. You was upset because I didn't understand a certain assignment, and because I messed up on it, I had to do the assignment over in that particular warehouse. That's my problem between me and the manager. That didn't include you. Just like the guy who was suspended, that has nothing to do with me. The fact that I did an error at the job was between me and the manager, not the appointed, self-appointed snitch and talebearer. You understand? So what wound up happening? I walked up to the next aisle and I said, you know what? I don't want the person to get shot. I'm going to be, quote, the bigger person. And I went downstairs and we waited and waited and waited. And sometime after that, I spoke to the person that was spoken to about me. You understand? And I said, you know, I heard what such and such said about me, right? And the person looked like, huh? Because he didn't tell me that somebody was trying to talk bad about a brother. But I let him know that I heard what was said. And I told them, I said, you know what's going to happen? He's going to talk bad about everybody to everybody else because that's what that person does. The manager seemed to perhaps not understood all of that stuff. Who quits first before everyone? Basically, the person who was trying to talk bad about everybody else. See, that person was filling the manager's mind with everybody else. So that way, the manager would not know that that person who's always opportunity running to talk is planning on jerking you. So now when a person does jerk you and leave the company, the manager is there looking like, what happened? I don't know what happened. I'll tell you what happened. You was too busy listening to that person talk bad about everybody else while they was trying to cover their own feces. That's what the manager was being blinded to. So now, as the thing goes, when your eyes are open, don't close them. His eyes was open then. You understand? Next slide. RoboCop. I know it may seem a little odd to use that as an example. The matter of RoboCop. This is from the era of the 1980s when he was created. This is from a movie. When he was created to be a cop who could withstand bullets. He was later destroyed by they who made him. He was praised while he was doing what he was doing. Then when they did not want or need him, they got rid of him. That's what happens in life. You see, you have to be careful of unnecessary praise. I spoke, not to be haughty, periodically about the aspects and pardon the language. The person who will kiss your ass will be the same to try to kick your ass. So sometimes unnecessary praises or praises really that's unnecessary, don't accept all of that. You're the man, you're this, you're that. The glory goes to the one who created the heavens and the earth. You understand? So RoboCop was made, heightened up, praised, and was sent out there to get the bad guys. And in layman terms, had a battery put in his back. And then when they was finished, they want to take the battery out. See? Maybe some people didn't get that from RoboCop, but that's what I saw when I saw it. You understand? Let's go on, brothers and sisters. The Apocrypha is the Tanakh. When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. Who gives the benefits? The Most High. The Most High is the one who gives the benefits. When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it. Because as we spoke before, everybody is not worthy of your blessings that you have. You can always tell because you can tell who appreciated it. Let's get a little personal. When I was working in a college and they were saying, we have for the staff, the teachers, and who have you, and everybody else who's interested among the staff, a free 1 semester science course. I remember that. I was like, what? A free science course for all the staff that wanted it. That was the school's incentive to get people to want to get into science more so the school would look better. I cursed it. Yo, I deal with history. That's my thing, B. I ain't going to say the exact words, but I did curse. I cursed it. I ain't going to be, you know what word with that. You understand? Word got back to the dean that I said concerning what was offered for free. I'm not, you know what word with that. What happened the next semester? I got the crappiest schedule. I could say the dean was hating, and maybe the dean was. But brothers and sisters, when you can do whatever it is, good, and you see it's not appreciated, you will see people change on you. Just like when something was presented to me when I was working in the college there. You understand then? If something good was presented, I didn't have to sit there and say, I'm not, you know what word with that. All I had to do was just say, no thanks, but no thanks, so it doesn't fit my schedule. I could have done that, but instead I cursed it. And you expect to come back under that same building that is employing you after you cursed what they're offering, instead of just saying it's not your thing or not your interest. Oh, we got you. We want to fix you good. Give you a schedule as a teacher there that has a class at 8:05 a.m. to 9:35 a.m. and another class the same day that starts at 6 p.m. That is one of the worst schedules to have, because from 9:35 until 6, your day is all occupied with just that. That is the dreaded schedule for many people inside the college institution. You don't want to have to teach that schedule. But I learned something. Don't curse that which could be good. If it's not your thing, just pass it on. You ain't got to sit there and try to down it and disrespect it just because it ain't for you. You understand? Let's go on. If thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. See, this is why the book we deal with is the book of life, because the things in it you can apply to life. If thou wouldst get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. That's from Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha chapter 6. The first PowerPoint part we read there, it comes from Ecclesiasticus chapter 12. Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. The Hebrew word for friend, brothers and sisters, One of them is the word chaber. Chaber comes from the word kabal. Kabal in Hebrew means to bind or to attach. So that's what a friendship is. That's why in the Bible, right, when you read about Hebron, the city of Hebron, that's Kebron in Hebrew. The word Kebron from Kabal means friendship. Another word in Hebrew for friend is Yadid. The word Yadid comes from the root word Dad. Dad in Hebrew means to love. So your friend in Hebraic understanding is that which is tied to you and that which is loved, shown back and forth. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and love and favor rather than silver and gold. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. If you don't think so, all you got to do is look at Trump. Do you know Trump? He's said to be rich. Some people say it ain't, but he's rich, all right? But his name is bad. Currently, 16 states in America want to sue Trump. So yeah, he's rich, but his name is bad. Remember? Let's talk about music, for instance. The rapper Eric Sermon, he did a song called Stay Real. He was talking in part about his former music partner, Parrish Smith. Parrish Smith got with a group called Das EFX. Das EFX came out with a song, and in it they said, with Parrish Smith, you can stay real, nigga, but I'ma stay rich. Now, where's Das EFX? When was the last time they dropped something? And I know sometimes, certainly with rap, you can't go for like 20, 30 years. But when you said, you can stay real, but I'ma stay rich, Das EFX career went do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And I was a fan of them. You understand? That's how I know about the history with that, because I listened to the songs. Cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out. Yea, strife and reproach shall cease. I remember reading this as a child inside the camp I grew up in. We read, cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out. So when you always have the contention around, it's because inner scorning or external scorning. Remember we did a thing about the difference between teaching and debating? When the mentality is still stuck on debating and debates and so forth, then that's the scorning spirit. Wisdom will not enter that. If thou be wise, which is the aspect of wisdom, using wisdom is being wise. Thou shalt be wise for thyself. And if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. Do you know when a person is showing love and it's not even not so much as reciprocated, but it's more so appreciated? Do you know how the person who's showing the love feels? You, speaking in general, essentially you're saying, screw them. See, in high school, when I was cutting classes, I was saying, excuse the teacher. That's exactly what was being said without saying it. So you have some teachers with the mindset, well, I already got mine, they got to get theirs, which is not the best either. But if you be wise, you be wise for yourself. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. That's in the same Proverb chapter 9. Next slide, so we can move on, brothers and sisters. Now, this is something to get off one's mind and conscience and spirit for necessary purposes. Over the course of years, when you care, show, donate, time or anything else, because donation isn't only monetary money. This is why this was made. When a man or a woman can be asked, here, can you help me with this? And after the help was done, it's, you know what, you? Okay, no problem. You understand? That's what happens in companies, relationships, and so forth. You know that's what happened between the rapper Biggie Smalls and Puffy, right? Biggie Smalls was getting ready to leave Bad Boy Records and get his own thing. Total, the singing group, left Puffy, or they parted ways. Jodeci, Mary J. Blige as well, and others. When you begin to see that there's the Exodus and then the Exodus, there might be a reason for that. You understand? This is why when people realize they, male or female, was the one who had the wrong in the relationship, it is wise to sit back and consider. That's what a brother had to do once it came down between me and my daughter's mother. What part did I mess up on? One can, real, she's like this, and black woman like that, and you know, the sisters, you know. No, nigga. Let's explain what happened. When a brother's daughter's mother was fronting money for a brother. This is broad, but I'm speaking personal, because these kind of things happen. You use that money that your current, at that time, lady gave you, and went and took another sister to the movies. So when you had to go back, because you, mind you, you done spent that money that she gave you something for already. You got to now come with a believable story to tell this woman why you're going to need some more money. So you come with a situation and you get grilled. By that, I mean question and question and question. I gave you this amount. What happened? You leaving yourself open for anything. I was asked, her exact words were, in quotes, baby, are you on drugs? I'm like, no, I ain't on drugs. Then what happened to the money I gave you? It was just 2 days ago. You still didn't accomplish the thing with the money I gave you, and you asking for like the same amount? I couldn't tell her I took another lady to the movies. You understand? So these are things, brothers and sisters, when one shows love and concern, and you playing double dutch and hopscotch, and you're playing games with that which is serious, that which is serious will be out. And that's what happened between me and my daughter's mother. That's what happens in life. You understand? After careful consideration and getting advice from people who have given and loaned me money, because you know, once it comes down to money, things change. I am no longer part of Team Freebie. The Hebrew classes are and will be free. The videos on YouTube will be free. I do on my channels. However, there will be no more free books given, nor any free interviews, lectures, speeches, classes that are not on my channel. There's over 50 classes, Hebrew classes on the channel, over 100 history presentations on the channel, all free. I have given free books after the cost of buying the materials or the sources to make the books. I have mailed the book to people for free. So let's understand what's happening. It takes money to have the publisher send you the book, or an author uses one's discount and then has the book sent to the person. Oh, I want you to sign it. You want me to sign a book that you want for free. Not a problem. So I have to buy it, have it sent to myself. Like a fool. Signed it, then went to FedEx and had it sent off. So I paid to receive it, and then I paid to send it out. That day is over. Because, see, what's happening in that, brothers and sisters, real talk, is a lack of appreciation. That says, I don't value what you have done, be it man or woman, or even a child. You understand? That's exactly what that is saying. You understand? The price of mailing was not asked to be refunded. That day is over. See, you know when some people talk about the entitlement mentality? You're supposed to do that for me. I don't do nothing for you. Wow. You know who thinks like that? El Cracker. He's like that. Walks around. I work in Manhattan. Walks around. Oh, all of this shit is mine. I rule this. You must bow down to me. Don't you look in my eyes, little nigger. There are some black people who try to treat each other the same way. And you know you can tell because, see, it's like this. To give an example. Let's go back, if we will, all right, to this particular aspect. When a toxic person can no longer control you, they will try to control how others see you. And that's what MC Ren did with Ice Cube. By saying the only reason why they bought your album is because they thought you was with us. So you still feel that you'll quote that man. You'll quote that person. And the reason why the other person who left got any kind of love is because you was trying to portray it to people that they still riding on what you was about with them. Such is not the case. Brothers and sisters. You understand? You can't think that somebody is a okay or cool or whatever good title or position or adjective to give a person and then sit back and think they dumb in other ways. And maybe they are for the moment. But this is why, and especially when you're dealing in the house of Yisrael, You will sit there and see how that flow goes, brothers and sisters. Haven't been in this for a while. And I say this in no disrespect. I remember there was a man in the house of Yisrael. I remember seeing him as a child. And from the age of 8, I didn't see him no more until the age of 11 when I met him again in another place. And I looked like, oh, I remember him. What happened? He left. These things happen when there was a misunderstanding, a disagreement, or anything of that sort. Just like in the Bible with Abraham and Lot. It's time at that point to part ways because it's not seeing eye to eye no more. Me and my little one's mother are better off, unfortunately, not together. It was toxic when we were together. And I want to say I'm thankful, even though her and I are not together, because it ain't a thing. You can't see your child. And da, 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 da. No, we ain't got that kind of thing going on. So I'm thankful and happy for that. But getting back to the subject matter, brothers and sisters. I want to state this as well. To the sisters who are the opposite of my little one's mother and deliberately, maliciously, disrespectfully tries to keep another parent from one's little boy or girl, you will pay for that, sister. Mark the words. Hear, O Yisrael, pay attention, Negro. Whatever understanding you got. I'm African American, I ain't no Israelite, but I listen to the channel. Pay attention, black men and women. If you're not under the understanding of Yisrael at this point, when you maliciously, deliberately, and intentionally separate yourself from your child, you will pay for that. Or when you're the other parent, maliciously, deliberately, and ill-intentionally separating the child from one's other parent, you will pay for that. Believe that. You will pay for that. Trust that. You understand? Next slide. The time it took to gather information for the Deuteronomy book was 10 years. The time it took to the now defunct Egypt Talk book, which will be uploaded, most I willing, as soon as possible, was 3 years of gathering information. Through it all, I do not regret giving to my people, the children of Israel. However, as of now, no more freebie books, lectures, speeches, or presentations. When the videos, like on my channel, are edited and updated, as you might see now with some music and so forth and so on some of the videos, I pay for that. When I advertise others' businesses, channels, and information, there was no charge for that. That too will be ending. When one does not have a mind to say, wow, I got, quote, free advertisement, but at the same time is not willing to, quote, share a link from a video I did, I can't with the freebie stuff. And I hope, brothers and sisters, that we are understanding the difference between using and misuse, the difference between use and abuse. Because when we feel ain't nobody going to use me is the reason why we don't get ahead. We're supposed to use each other. We're not supposed to misuse each other. Misuse, in other words, is playing, running game, and so forth. Everything is not about the dollar. Sometimes a simple quote share of a brother's video advertising a book is all that's needed. Now, in that last line, I did get a little personal because I remember a situation, all right? And I wanted to do business with this person. And all I asked the person was with the Hebrew book that dropped, just share it on your wall. Just share it. That's it. You ain't got to pay me back. Just share it. I waited one day, no share. Second day, no share. Eventually, the Sabbath came, so I wasn't even going to sit there and wonder about it then. The next day, Yom Rishon, so-called Sunday, came. I called. Shalom, how's everything? Is everything okay? Yeah, everything is well. How are you? My hands are full right now. Okay, no problem. We'll talk. Yom Shani came. That's so-called Monday. Yom Shalishi came. That's so-called Tuesday. That Yom Rabi'i came. That's so-called Wednesday. Still, no share. So at that point, I was like, listen, didn't we have an agreement that only thing that was asked was the share? Taking it back, making it a bit more personal with one will, but this is talking about life as well. When I asked that person if I can get that person's relative inside of a video as a teacher, I was willing to go by that person's jurisdiction, make up with such and such, and I went over there for such. But when you see other situations with a different person nonetheless, then, right? Wednesday comes, Shalom, how you doing? Everything's good? Listen, I thought we had an agreement about that. Oh, well, I thought it would be better if I do it this way. That's not what we agreed to. Our agreement was you do the share, which is not really hurting or helping, but it's about the aspect of appreciation. You understand? I'm not a prophet, but if you look, for instance, with Naaman, in the situation with him and the prophet Elisha, just go in the water X amount of times and you'll be cured of your leprosy. I don't want to sit there and do that. And his associates was like, if he told you to do something hard, you would do it. So why not just do this thing that's not that difficult? You rather go against the agreement in the aspect of saying you wanted to try to have done better. Nah, that's not what we agreed to. Listen, not that I'm the richest, but check this here. You ain't got to give me the bread back, the money back. Nah. Even though that was part of an agreement. I'll give you this, you can share that. Are you sure I don't have to give the money back? I'm absolutely sure you ain't got to get that back. And guess what? You get nothing else either. That's it. You can't, brothers and sisters, after we read the book of Joshua, be strong and of good courage. When you have a strong and good courage, and your eyes have the strength to see the nonsense, you don't sit there and keep on going back to the vomit. You don't sit there and keep on going back to the vomit, brothers and sisters. Relieve yourself of that. Egypt, Mizraim. I point out in my book, Deuteronomy 28, that the word Mizraim is not translated correctly as Egypt, but that it means double straight. You know what a straight is? Straight is a narrow, a bad situation. I'm in trouble straits. My straits is all of this. That's not a good situation. I expound upon in a book that the word Mizraim means double straight. Joshua chapter 5, verse 9. The Most High said, he take the reproach of Egypt off of the house of Israel. You ain't got to worry about them double straights no more, O house of Israel. I removed the reproach of Mizraim from you. We was then in debt to the Most High for doing something that, not for nothing, for the Most High is easy. So you can't sit there and say, well, you did this because it was easy for you to do. That's what you do, right? The Most High saw There was a lack of appreciation, as it says in Deuteronomy 28 chapter, because you did not serve Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh Eloheka, the Lord thy God, with joyfulness and gladness of heart. It was ritual. It wasn't appreciated, because when things are appreciated, you can see the happiness in it. Therefore, shalt thou serve thine enemies, whom Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh will send against thee, and hunger, Bara'ah, and in thirst, Bazamah, and in nakedness, Erom, and in want of all things, Koser cold. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thee. O Barzel al-Zuwareka, upon thy neck. Brothers and sisters, if we are made in the image of the Most High, and the Most High does not allow, after he gave his assistance in something, and you come with something, oh, I got something for the house of Israel. You're going to tell the Creator, well, that's what you do. That was in the past. I did this. But Yisrael, we had an agreement. I bring you out of captivity. You keep my laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, of course, none of us on this earth is the Most High. But if we know, as it says in Jeremiah, cursed be he who doeth the work of the Most High deceitfully. And we know good and well that it says, commit your works to the Most High and your thoughts will be established. Don't play games with those who are saying they doing something, giving honor and praise to the Creator and maker of heaven and earth. You calling on an entity who sat there and said, Yam Suf, divide, and the sea parted. And archaeology has proved that the Yam Suf, the Reed Sea, has parted. We're talking about the one that people in Jamaica talk about. Ask any elder from the island of Jamaica about what is called Port Royal and how the people there back in the early 1900s was living like Sodom and Gomorrah in the island of Jamaica, part called Port Royal. They said God took the ground and flipped it upside down. I was told that from an elder that's over 80 years old. When I was in my 20s, he told me that. I said, what's the name of the place, elder? He said it was Port Royal in Jamaica. They was doing the same wickedness like Sodom and Gomorrah. And his exact words were, God took the ground and flipped it upside down. So I asked another elder, not that I doubted what the elder told me, about the situation with Port Royal in Jamaica in the early 1900s. And they said, yeah, they was into some stuff and God destroyed it. I was like, wow. You understand? So if we understand ourselves as the house of Israel, brothers and sisters, and we are saying we are doing this to the glory of the Creator of heaven and earth, stay focused with that. Al Tishay et Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh. Don't forget the Most High. See, nowhere is any one of us, I can say certainly for me, is on the level of David in the Bible. When David committed an iniquity, right? What does it say? You have despised the word of the Most High. That's what Nathan the prophet came to David with. And sometimes, and it's happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to not only me, in life, male, female, or child, and if it's an elder, let an elder do it. One has to be humbled. David, you remember running from Saul and crying? Who do you think delivered you from the hand of Saul? The Most High. So guess what, David? And I'm not on the level of David. You owe the Creator. You understand? That's something we want to point out for edification purposes. And David said, Katati, I have sinned. So the point, brothers and sisters, when we get into this kind of subject matter, when you see somebody showing love, show it back. People left jobs over certain things. There are people who left jobs because a promotion should have went to one person who put the time in, and it went to someone else. They're like, you know what? This ain't even worth it. I'm gonna just go ahead and somewhere else. And what happens with the manager in that part when those things happen? That person was this, and that person was that, but that person wasn't that when that person was busting their behind to get things done. But as we went over before, the toxic minded person got to sit there and try to control how others think of you. So we're coming from out of the Apocrypha, the Bible, the Tanakh, and references about how life is. Everything is not, and I love it, and I'll continue to study and teach it. History. This is current events on why our history done fell apart. You understand? Brothers and sisters. Next slide. Conclusion and final thoughts. When a toxic person can no longer control you, they will try to control how others see you. The misinformation will feel unfair, but stay above it, trusting that other people will eventually see the truth just like you did. I got that off of Facebook. We can't have the spirit of Esau. Let's explain by that. Esau could care less about the happiness initially of his mother and his father. So he just marries into the daughters of Heth. And it says it was bitterness of spirit with Isaac and Rebekah. Esau, baby, you breaking the tradition. Eliezer of Damascus was sent way yonder to get a wife for Isaac. Jacob himself later on was sent way yonder, and then he got a wife. Israel, stop teaching, which we do know, well, you are what your father is. Because Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was very specific about where they was putting their seed at. Why? Because they appreciated the seed that the Most High said will be blessed. And you and your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. That's why, unlike Esau, you don't put your seed just any old where, O sons of Israel. Esau could care less in his mindset. Well, it's a woman. The child is what the father is. That's still me. Esau only saw where he was immediate at in his controlled environment with the walls around him. Esau did not see what Abraham and Eliezer of Damascus saw. Esau did not see what Isaac saw for Jacob. And Esau will be cut off to the last man, saith the Lord. Why? Because the things you do can affect your children. And when you feel, well, we already cut off Esau, we're going to keep on just doing what we're doing. Did you know of all the nations in the Bible, Esau is the one that is never promised any kind of repentance? Correct me if I'm wrong. Esau, Edomites are the only people in the Bible that is not promised any kind of repentance. Esau, when he saw that his wife that he chose did not make his father and his mother happy, what does he do? He goes into the house of Ishmael. He didn't love he didn't love the daughter of Ishmael. Pardon me, I forget the name at the moment. He didn't love the daughter of Ishmael. He did that because he wanted to try to make it look good for his mother and his father. He was faking. That's the spirit of Esau, a faker. We can't, as the sons of Israel, have the spirit of Esau. So what does Esau do after that? Another blunder. I'm at the point to die. I'm hungry. Give me of this red pottage that I may eat. And Jacob looked and said, sell me first your birthright. Now we know it's Israel. That's how Israel got the birthright. But Esau should have been like, what? What? My hunger just left me for a minute, bro. Well, baby, bro, what you said, man? What you said? Makorli bikuraka. Sell you my birthright. Ha'em kor laka bikurati. I'm going to sell you my birthright. Jacob, no disrespect to our father Israel, Jacob. That's not a fair exchange. The authors in the Tanakh says, Vayibez Esau Habkora. Therefore, Esau despised his birthright. The Israelite scribes in the book of Genesis said, even after Yisrael got it, you despise that. Esau did not see the bigger picture. So we can't have the spirit of Esau. Blunder number 3. What does Esau do after that? Go in the field, my son, and get me of this game, which some people translate as venison, but that's another subject. That my soul may bless thee before I die. So Esau goes out, never having perhaps told his father. He sold his birthright because whoever has the birthright gets the blessing because it's a dual portion. So Esau goes out. Rebecca says to Jacob, go out and get this animal and I'm going to cook it and you're going to get that blessing. We have to remember, Rebecca was the one that was sought for, come to find out. Isaac was the one that was asked, pardon me, Isaac was the one, well, he actually was asked because that's how his birth came into being, but that's another subject, right? But Isaac did not see or understood what Rebecca knew because remember, it said the elder shall serve the younger. The Most High saw the ending of the matter before the beginning of the whole matter. You understand it? So what does Esau do now? He goes and gets this. All of a sudden, he in that time ain't hungry to the point of death. Because I'm gonna get this blessing. You already done made children with the daughters of Heth. You cut yourself off by the woman you was with, Esau. Strike one. Then you marry into the house of Ishmael, not out of love, not even out of trust, but just because I want to make it look good for the eyes of the people. Like Saul. Samuel, come with me so the people can sit there and see something great. Not because I want to be repentant, but because I need the people to look at me in a certain light. You understand? Then, after the situation, with that, Jacob comes in and he winds up acquiring the blessing. And this is what I'm saying at this very moment, is my belief. Isaac knew who he was blessing. This is Abraham's son and their father, Isaac. He's not going to throw out no blessing to just any old perfect stranger like that. He knew who he was blessing. And he said, quote, quote, the voice is the voice of Jacob. Ani Shomeya. I hear. Wahayadayim, keep day, Esau, but the hands are the hands of Esau. Come here, my son, that I may see if thou art my very son Esau or not. Because see, you got to remember, Isaac would have known certain things too. How did you get this food so quickly, my son? The Lord thy God help me. No, Esau ain't talking about the Lord thy God. That's somebody else right there. Come here. We got to sit back in there and see what this is, because Esau ain't talking about the Most High. You hear what I'm saying, Israel? Once it came down to it, Esau forgot to mention or did not ever perhaps then speak of the Most High. Everything was, I get my blessing. I have this wife. My have. I am hungry now. You're not thinking later on what's going to happen. So Isaac gives Jacob the blessing. And then Jacob goes away and Esau comes in. Pardon me, belched. Arise, my father, and bless me. Isaac said, Mi ata, who are you? Ani Bitkai, Esau, Bikodkai. Something that happened up in here. Your brother Jacob came with Gal and took the blessing. And what does Esau say to show the fourth blunder? Is he not rightly named Jacob? First he took my birthright, now my blessing. Whoa. Who's up? I named him Jacob. I named him Yaakov. The Most High named Jacob Yisrael. But Isaac and Rebekah named him Yaakov. So now you can see Esau has no respect for his elders. Is he not rightly named Jacob? So you're snapping on the name I gave my boy? Really, Esau? He ain't snapping on your name, but you're snapping on his. First he's taking my birthright and now my blessing. Esau, he did what? He took my birthright. Esau, baby, come here. He did what? How would he have taken your birthright? Now, in a situation when a man was given a gift and he let that gift go, be it a relationship with a beautiful woman, in spirit, and so forth and so on. Now you got to come up like Esau with a story to sit back and explain, I was hungry one day and he said, sell me the birthright. Esau, you sold him the birthright for what? For something to eat? Read Genesis 28 carefully. After Isaac did say something such as, by thy sword thou shalt live, Isaac called Rebekah and said, call Jacob back and I will bless him again. Because obviously, even though Isaac was physically blind, he can sit back and see, hold on. The daughter of Heth, your Ishmaelite wife is not even out of love. It's not even sought after. It's only because you thought it would make us happy. My grandchildren comes out of the womb of a Hittite when Abraham was not even feeling that. And Abraham, ever since Jacob and Esau was 40 at that time. Jacob and Esau was 15 when Abraham passed away. So we're talking 25 years later. Isaac must have been thinking all this stuff in his head. Esau ain't the one, baby. So we cannot, O sons of Yisrael, have the spirit of Esau. Do we understand that? We cannot, O sons of Yisrael, have the spirit of Esau. You don't care what woman you with. You don't care if you disrespect your parents by talking about you named your boy that. You don't care about your own blessing, and you didn't have the courage and the strength to say, Jacob, your deal is not even fair. I'm going to go and make my own food. And guess what, Jacob? I'm going to eat it in front of you so you can sit back and think about, dag, I should have not even tried to sit there and bought it that hard with my brother. Esau could have, quote, rubbed it in his baby brother's face, but no, I don't care about my birthright because I want my you know what now. So now Esau's going to be cut off to the last man. That's the final thought. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Hopefully nobody was offended. Hopefully this was understood. Brothers and sisters, open for constructive criticism. All right. I don't know how to work the microphone aspect, but if there's any questions, please, brothers and sisters, elders included, feel free to type it in inside of this comment board here. All right? Please. What I'm doing now, believe it or not, is the advice that I got from a beautiful friend of mine. And I'm gonna need perhaps somebody to tell me how to get the mic thing done together back and forth so we can sit there and discuss when the presentation or whatever is over to talk or whatever like that. We can't, brothers and sisters, have the spirit of Esau. You understand? Esau didn't think about longevity. Esau didn't think about what's going to happen in the future. Esau didn't show any appreciation for what he was born with. Same thing with, no offense intended, we can't have the spirit, even though we know we self as Israel, the spirit of Reuben. We understand Reuben lost the priesthood and the kingship because of his act, the things you do offensively. You understand? The Bible stories is put in there for a reason. We can't, and I say this no disrespect, make the same mistake that Judah made. Because Judah's last two children, no offense to the tribe of Judah, them last two boys was mistakes. With Tamar, Zerah, and Perez, the children from Judah and Tamar in Genesis 38, that was an accident baby. We can't have accident babies no more, brothers and sisters. That was not an intentional birth. You understand? Certainly not on the father's part. Brothers and sisters, we can't, brothers and sisters, have the spirit in part like Korah in the Bible. Moses, you take too much on yourself. And Moses said to Korah, y'all Levites, y'all don't even see what the Most High has given you as a gift? It wasn't enough that the Most High already made you special, already in a special people? But what does Korah do? He gets jealous and envious of the position Moses has. Not even realizing Moses is telling Joshua, I wish everybody were prophets so they see what I see. This job ain't easy. But when the drama came, Korah decided, oh, I'm going over on this side right here. No. Who was Korah loyal to? See? That's why we got to know what kind of characters to pick up when we're reading in the scriptures. You understand? We can't, brothers and sisters, in closing out, have the same kind of spirit that Dathan and Abiram had. Dathan and Abiram was talking and talking and talking and talking to get the attention of Moses. Then, when they got the attention of Moses, Moses says, by sending messengers, Alu El Moshe, come up to Moses. And that time that the Abiram said, Lo, not Ale, we will not come up. Dathan and Abiram, what are you doing? You wanted the man's attention, you got the man's attention, and now you're going to sit there and say you don't want to go up? So when they eventually did meet together, Moses, you take too much on yourself. So this is what we'll do. Every man gets their censor. All right, Moses, you see the foolishness right there? You're saying Moses took too much on himself. Then when he says what should happen, you sit there and agree with it. But you're saying that same person takes too much on himself. That's how you know Dathan and Abiram didn't have the spirit of being strong and courageous, because a leadership mind of self will sit there. If you think somebody taking too much on themselves, you're still not going to sit there and say, well, I'm going to still sit there and do that. Or if you respect the person's understanding and knowledge, you will sit there and not feel he or she is taking too much on themselves. You understand? We can't, brothers and sisters, have it part like the spirit of Shaul ben Kish, Melech Yisrael, Memate Benyamin, Saul, the son of Kish of the tribe of Benjamin. David killed his, no, how's the saying go? Shaul, Hal Rag, Alafal, with Dawid, Rabobotayu. Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000s. Saul couldn't rest with that, baby. All eyes on me. So Saul looked at David funny style and dealt with David funny style since then. I'm going to have him go into battle because I know he likes to go into battle. And I'm going to have him, he's going to be defeated. So that way, because I really want him dead. Because I know David is loyal to me. I know that the same women, if they would have saw David humble before me, they still would have respected each of us. Saul could have easily fixed that problem of his unfortunate jealousy. Dawid, King, Adoni Malki, yes, my lord and king. Tali Mayim, Yaldi, my boy, go fetch me water. Cain, Atela Kamayim, I will fetch thee water. Hatopo, is it good? Animikwawe, Hamayim Topla Kamalki, Adoni Shaul. I hope the water is good, my lord and king Shaul. Saul could have easily sat there and had David like, I acquiesce. But Saul didn't understand his position and his authority. That's why Samuel said, it is seeming like a light thing unto thee, O Shaul, but you are leader of the 12 tribes of Israel. This is not a light subject. You understand? Do you realize that it is the Most High that protects us in this captivity here and who woke us up to this great truth in this captivity here? That's where the glory goes when you get right down into it. Because it is the Most High that's the one who opens the eyes. You understand? Brothers and sisters, Shalom Lakem.